Good morning, faith community. Have you ever had to do something that your heart was just not in? I love teaching, but there were moments during my teaching career where I would be asked to do things that I didn't agree with. I thought that they would hurt my students. I thought that they would hinder their learning rather than benefiting it. One of the things I did not enjoy doing was all of the tests I had to give my students. Test on top of test on top of test. I had all of my regular unit exams, and then I would have to give benchmarks on top of that. And sometimes I had no say in what was covered in those tests. When I was giving those tests, sometimes my heart was just not in it. I was just not motivated to do that because I didn't believe in what I was doing. We're talking this week about the new covenant, and we're looking at truths about the new covenant. What I want to share with you today is one of the new covenant promises is that we're able now to draw near to God with a true heart. Let me read to you from the passage in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 21. It says, "And since we have a great high priest over the house of God, let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience and our bodies washed in pure water." We're told to draw near to God with a true heart. Well, first thing I want you to understand is that God knows what's in your heart. God knows when your heart is not in it. With God, you can't fake it till you make it. With God, you have to be genuine when you come to him. James said that one of the reasons sometimes our prayers aren't answered is because we're asking with the wrong heart. He says this in James 4:3, "You ask and you don't receive because you ask with wrong motives, so you may spend it on your pleasures." We can't come to God with a selfish heart. We can't come to God with a self-seeking heart. We have to come to him with a true heart. Well, what do we do then? What do we do when we know we should be praying, but our heart just isn't in it? Maybe you've been tempted before to fake it until you make it, but I want you to understand this. Because of the new covenant, God can transform your heart. God can transform your mind. When your heart isn't in it, you have a God who is able to change your heart. He is able to help you to have feelings that will desire to come to him in truth, to pray genuine, heartfelt prayers for your situation, for your friends and your family. You'll be able to draw near to him with a true heart. Why? Because of the work that he is doing. So don't fake it till you make it. Allow him to transform your heart until you make it. Understand this. Jesus washes our heart. That's what he says. Your heart is sprinkled clean from an evil conscience. All those contrary desires, all those things that go against who we are in Christ Jesus, those can be washed away. Go to him and confess it as sin. And guess what he does? He cleanses you from all unrighteousness, those unrighteous thoughts, those unrighteous desires, anything that's contrary to his word. In that moment, he removes it from you. A true heart is yours in Christ Jesus. How can I say that? How can I be so confident of that? Well, listen to Romans 12, verse 2. In Romans 12:2, Paul says this, "Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God." Do you hear what Paul says? He says, don't be conformed to this age. Stop thinking like the people in the world who think they just have to fake it till they make it. Who think, well, my heart's not in it, but I'm just going to go through the motions. Don't be conformed to this age, but be transformed. How? By the renewing of your mind. Go to Jesus and say, Jesus, renew my mind. Get my eyes on what is true. Fill my heart with you so that you can do what? So you can discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. And guess what? His will becomes your will as you do his desire. Come to him with a true heart. How is that possible? It's a new covenant promise. Receive it from him. Good and perfect gifts. Thank you so much for listening to me today.